All right, cool. Well, um, I'm gonna start talking about career fair, which is coming just around the corner. Um, some people have had some experience with it, others might not. Especially because of COVID. The past few career fairs were a little bit different, but basically, I'm gonna be talking about like the basics of career fair, how to prepare for it, and yeah, some tips and tricks about it. So first, if someone doesn't uh, know what career fair is, it's pretty much just like a university-wide event where a lot of companies come together and come here to RIT to kind of like give information, and like recruiters from said companies are meeting with students to talk about like career opportunities, whether it's like co-op internships or full-time jobs. Um, so basically, the way it works, companies come, and then people stay in line and talk to recruiters. They give in their resume, and rinse and repeat. Sometimes people get interviews from said companies, and then the next day, usually, then they just like get an interview with that company. Um, that's usually how it goes. The next day is called like interview day, pretty much. Um, but yeah, for this talk, I'm gonna divide it into three big like sections. The first one being before the career fair, during, and then after. So the first one is before the fair. How do you prepare for it? What kind of stuff do you need to do for that? The first thing I should mention is basically the attire. There's a pretty misconception about like people going in for the first time, or even like people that it's not their first time, but for some reason, that's a pretty common theme that I see like every time. It's that people would try to be like suit up so bad, like it's not required. Like you don't have to be like all suit up and like it doesn't matter if it's like female clothes or like a suit like this one. It's not required. It's not like super formal event. You can go just like with a button-up shirt or something like that. Because as you can see, this doesn't look like pretty good, and I've seen worse than that in real life. Um, so it's better if you have something like this. Like I'm not saying that you shouldn't like use a suit or like pretty formal clothes, but the thing is like if you are going for that, then at least try to be, at least make it so that it fits. Because it's best to be like in button-up shirt and like a jeans that fit well, than being in an suit like this one, oversized suit. Um, so pretty much, if you're gonna go for the formal clothes, choose something that actually fits pretty well. Continuing with stuff that you should do before the fair, um, one of the things is like your resume. Of course, you should review your resume. Here we have a lot of resources in the SSE. There's the Slack channel, hashtag resumes, and there was a talk, as a matter of fact, yesterday, the Malakowski talk about resumes. And of course, your one and only lovely career mentoring head, me. I'm always available and willing to review your resume and give you some feedback. Also, you want to print multiple copies of your resume because you're gonna be talking to recruiters and different companies. So you might want to have a handful of them so that you can just pass them on, and every company that you go to, you can leave one of your resumes. It would be pretty bad if you don't have like anything to send them. I mean, you can always send them an email, but if they want one in like a physic copy of it, and you don't have one, it might be a missed opportunity. The next thing is the pitch. The pitch I divided into like three different categories. The first one being the headline. But before I get into that, the pitch is basically pretty much the what people call elevator pitch. Is how you present yourself in less than 30 seconds. It's called elevator pitch because of that. It's like an idea that you present in an elevator where you don't have like a lot of time to present it. So it's pretty much saying who you are, what you do, and what you want in less than 30 seconds. So I divided into three categories: the headline, then the background, and why you're here, or the wrap up. The headline is pretty much stating who are you, your name, your year, your major, and it's pretty similar to your headline in LinkedIn if you have one. It's like, I'm Freddy, fifth year software engineering major, and that's basically it. Headline is pretty short and concise. And something that I really like to say when I talk about this is, don't forget to say your name. It sounds silly, I know, but you'd be surprised the amount of people that say their whole pitch and they forget to say who they are, like what's their name, and it's pretty much one of the most important things about you. Um, so yeah, headline pretty short, concise, your name, your year, your major, and then you move on to the background. In the background, you're gonna talk about what have you done, and how like your accomplishment and that kind of stuff. See, so if you have like industry experience or job experience of any kind, or experience that is relevant to the person you're talking to, so you should say that in there. And that's pretty much for the background phase. The last one, which is the wrap up part, is basically stating what's your purpose, why you're talking to that person, why you're here for. It's like what, and there you're gonna talk about the type of job that you want. I want an internship. I'm looking for a co-op for the upcoming spring semester, or a co-op for the summer next year. And you can talk about also what brought you here. For example, I really like this company. I'm really excited about X, Y, Z, depending on the company, of course. Or you can say, oh, I've applied to your summer co-op position beforehand, and I would love this opportunity, and I wanted to discuss my qualifications for the role, or I wanted to talk to someone a little bit further about this opportunity and all that. So that's basically the pitch, something that you should prepare and practice before the career fair. And it's not like a script, but you should have at least that in your mind, stuff that you can just like say whenever: your name, your major, your background, and why you're there. That's gonna change depending on the company, but still, you should have a rough skeleton of what you want to say. Now, moving on, during the fair, there are a few housekeeping items that you should keep in mind before entering the fair. So it's like, you need to bring your RIT ID because it's like in the Gordon Field House, and they use your ID to kind of check in. I'm not sure. I think you can still get in without your RIT ID, but it's like more cumbersome. So if you have your RIT ID, it's like seamless, smoother. Also, leave your bags at home, or at least bring something that is like light to carry, because you are probably gonna be there for the whole day or for a few hours. So you wanna go with something that is like short and like easy to carry. And also, like when you check in, there's like metal detectors, so you would have to just like open up and like pass it through the metal detectors or whatever. So better to have something that is like easy to carry. And yeah, pack light and comfortable, because remember, you're gonna be there for a while. And also, coming back to what I just said about the attire, your outfit, you should probably wear something that is not like you're not gonna be like in sweatpants and slippers, but something that is comfortable enough and presentable to talk to people in a semi or formal setting. So during the fair, one of the things that you should do is first the scouting. I call it the scouting because it's like you should probably get familiar with the layout of the Cordon Field House, where it's gonna happen. So this is a rough like blueprint, yeah, of how it looks like, and all those squares are the booth where companies are gonna be in. If you're wondering, this QR code would take you directly to the Career Connect page where this map is in, and it's really cool because you can see all the companies. Like in that page, you could see all the companies and where they're gonna be in. So Pretty much, I don't remember, but you could see like, oh, they're all tagged, and you can also star the companies that you want, and if you mark it, then you can kind of like see it. Here is kind of like pretty hard to see, but some of them have stars. Like this one have a star, so I don't think it's like pretty like useful. But if you go to the page, it's gonna take you to like if you go to the link, it's gonna take you to a page where you can mark the ones that you wanna go, like your favorites or start companies, and then there's like a PDF document that is generated, and it tells you the name and like the it says yes or no if you like started or not. So it's kind of like to have a guide of like the companies that you want to visit. So yeah, you go to Career Connect, start the companies that you want, and download the map that they're gonna generate, which is this one. And based on your preferences, it's gonna vary a little bit more. But as you can see, like the blue stars or circles are pretty hard to see. So you better get the PDF that they generate. And yeah, when you're in the fair, look around the companies and like the lines, which ones are longer, which ones are shorter, the wait time, pretty much that kind of stuff. That's all like kind of like the scouting part of it. Um, During the fair, also, you might want to research the companies beforehand. While you're on the line, you have like plenty of time to just do a quick Google search, see what the company is about, and surely review what they do. You don't need to know everything about the company, but at least kind of like have an idea and not be like totally lost when you talk to the people that are there. At least have like a rough idea, and then they can expand a little bit more. And if you have like something that you want to go into more detail with them, then you can just like ask him about that. But it's not really a good idea to just go totally blind or lost to the recruiters or the people that are gonna be there. Now moving on to the strategy there, something good to keep in mind is approaching the companies that you're not that interested in first. Why? Because you wanna be on your best when you go to the ones that you actually like. So you go to those that you are not that interested in first, and then you're gonna kind of like build your confidence, and then you're gonna be ready to go to the ones that you actually like. And it's kind of like breaking the ice, pretty much. You're gonna be a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious at the start, but once you talk to a few companies, ideally the ones that you're not that interested, so that you can perform better with the ones that you like, then it's gonna be better for that. Another thing though is approaching the companies that you're unfamiliar with, because it might surprise you. You might be like, oh no, this company sounds lame. Look, the lines are even like really short. Nobody's going there. This company, like, I don't want to go there. But especially if the lines are short, it's a good thing to go there, because even though not a lot of people are interested in those companies or in that company, let's say, those recruiters will actually give you more attention because they don't have that many people, so they have like more time to spend with each person. So they would give you more feedback, and it would be better to prepare for the companies that you actually like, as I said before. And of course, even if you don't care about the company, or you know that you definitely are not gonna work there or for them, that's still a good thing to do, because something that I really love about career fair, the swag. Even if you don't care about the company, I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but like if you are not interested in that company, they have a lot of swag usually, and when you talk to them, they're gonna give you feedback on your resume if they have like short lines, because they can spend time with you. Like the other companies that have a long line, they're not even gonna read your resume. They're just gonna put it in a pile or just like briefly scream through it. But those companies are gonna give you swag, feedback, and I don't know, a good conversation maybe. So it's a win-win situation. Another thing also when talking to them is that they are doing this thing where RIT alumni have a tiger sticker. So it might look something like this. I don't know exactly how it looks, but if it's a tiger sticker and it's from RIT, it's probably gonna look like this. So try to look for those people when you are looking for companies, because they're RIT alumni. You have kind of like a connection with them. So it's kind of like a closer relationship. It would be easier for you to connect with them. So the conversation is gonna be a little bit smoother. And moving on to the delivery. Delivery is basically pretty much how you behave, how you go about the like talking to people, delivering your pitch, and all that. The first thing is like watching your body language. Maintain like a good posture. It might sound silly or like irrelevant, like why should I like mind my body language? What is that? What's the point of that? But actually, studies have found that your body posture affects your own thoughts and your thoughts about yourself and how you behave. So, pretty much your body posture can affect your confidence. If you have like a confident body posture, you're gonna feel more confident. As silly as it sounds, you can try yourself. If you're like nervous or anxious or something like that, try to like put on a good posture, and you're gonna feel the difference. Pretty much, it's like you have like your shoulders back, you're looking up, like not don't slouch or something like that. And also like a power posture is something like you put your hands like this, as opposed to just like having your hands crossed, your arms crossed. That's kind of like gonna make you more nervous, more defensive. But if you have like this posture, it's kind of like a standing posture, just like chilling. You're gonna feel a little bit more confident. Try it yourself, and you'll see the difference. There has been many studies about that. So another thing is smile. A really good smile. A smile can go a long way. Um, in general, smiling makes you more likable and pleasant. Also, research and studies have found that most people decide whether or not they like you or they like someone within like the first 5 to 7 seconds of meeting them. So like the first impression counts. And if you give a smile, I mean, just like a soft smile, you just don't want to be like a psychopath and have like a really big smile, but just like a subtle smile can go a long way. And as you see, if you only have like 5 to 7 seconds to deliver a first impression, smiling could give you like an advantage. Also, smiling helps people to remember you later. I mean, I'm kind of linking the studies here, so I don't know if you can see it, but if you were probably like go back on the slides, you can go to those studies. But basically, if you're smiling when you're meeting someone, it's more probable that they are gonna remember you later, because like people tend to mirror others instinctively. So when you smile, the other people's gonna smile, and then that's gonna be like a pleasant moment to them, like unconsciously. And people tend to remember pleasant moments more than others. But yeah, another thing during like during the fair that you should do is like mind how you greet people. As you can see, if you are greeting people like a handshake, please have like a firm handshake. When you go and greet someone with a handshake, you want to extend your hand first, like be proactive, because that shows that you have like interest, genuine interest in that person, and maintain eye contact with them as well. Again, don't make it weird, just like, just subtle. And then it's kind of like a simple strategy, but it gives you like power, and it makes you come off as charming. And on the other hand, no pun intended, actually, shaking hands like halfway like this, it's kind of like it comes off as like disinterest. You might be like, that's not a big deal, but it kind of is. You can feel the disinterest when someone like gives you the hand like that. It's like, oh, okay. So you want the strength with which you give your handshake or your grip to be firm, but not like super firm, and don't go overboard, because that might you might cause the opposite reaction if you just like cross your their hand. Another thing that you might encounter is that people would hand you business cards, and as a rule of thumb, something that you want to do when they hand you one of those is just like look at it for a few seconds, even if you don't read it, because it's kind of like a courtesy kind of thing. It's not that you're gonna read the whole thing, but at least just like look at it for a few seconds before putting it away. Just like a little tip right there. Even if you already know the title and the and what they do, or you don't care at all. Just like look at it for a few seconds, then put it down, or put whatever. And something like really interesting is about your pitch. I know that I said that you should like have rehearsed your pitch, like prepare it beforehand, but please read the situation, read the room, and don't start reciting your pitch like you're a robot. Like if you go to the person and you just say, "Hi, my name is Freddy. I'm a fifth year software engineering student. I have been in Mindex this past spring semester, and I went to Amazon this summer semester. I have experience with C Sharp, Java, Python. I have worked in this project and that project, and blah." That's really weird. Like you don't want someone to just like start talking like it's a monologue. And also like the situation might not be one where you should just like talk about you right away. They might ask you something firsthand, or they might introduce themselves or ask you like, "Oh, do you know something about the company?" And you're gonna talk about the company. So the pitch is kind of like a skeleton, as I said. It's something like to give you like something to talk about and have it like at the back of your mind, ready to go. But it's not like you always gonna be saying headline, background, and wrap up. You might say why you're here first, and then introduce yourself, or say, "Hi, I'm Freddy. Nice to meet you," and then talk about your year and what you're looking for later. But it's just like the pitch is basically just rough information that you should have at the back of your mind and prepare to give it whenever. So just adapt to the situation, whatever it is, and memorize your speech so that you can deliver it organically. Doesn't matter like what's the situation. And then moving on, finally, after the first over, there's a few things that happen. One of them is what I already mentioned, the interview. The next day, usually, they call some people that they had interest in for an interview. So congratulations if you got one, but only attend if you're invited, because it's not like an open thing like the career fair. They call certain people that they want to interview, but exactly, they call the people that they want to interview. So it's not like an open invitation to go and interview with them. Um, Moving on, there's the follow-up. Some people like to send a follow-up message or an email, and this is because like recruiters have a lot on their plate, and especially after career fair. So you can follow up with companies. It doesn't have to be the next day though. It can be like within 2 to 3 days. It's just a way to kind of like be in their minds and kind of like reminding them of you. It can be something like this, pretty simple. Like the subject line could be your last name or like your full name, and a little bit of context like interview on the date or career fair, whatever. And you can say something like this: "Hi, whatever's their name. Thank you for your time during the career fair. It was great to speak, or it was great to talk to you about this. And I was hoping to get an update on the recruitment process, blah, 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 blah." This is kind of like one of many examples. You can look it up online, or you can just like reference to this later. And pretty much that's basically it. It's just like following up so that they remember you, because they have like a lot of applicants in there. After that, the next steps are just continue applying. The grind never stops. It doesn't matter if you didn't get anything from career fair. It happens. I've been there, and then I've gotten a job afterwards. So don't feel bad if you don't get anything from career fair. The important thing is that you get the experience and the swag. So after the career fair is over, you can continue applying, go to Career Connect, or talk to your lovely career mentoring head, because I have a lot of good resources for preparation, for interviews, for applying to jobs. There's a lot of resources to find job postings for either internships, co-ops, or full-time. So definitely talk to me if you're interested in that. And you can also go to mock interviews. There's a QR code if you are interested in giving or being part of a mock interview. That's part of the SSE. We do like semester round mock interviews. So if you're interested in that, just scan that QR code and fill out the form. It's like a pretty short form. It won't take you more than 5 seconds. And with that, I think that's it. Oh, I have a quote for the end of my presentation. As Albert Einstein probably said, thank you all for your attention, and that's basically it. If you want to connect with me, there's my LinkedIn. Thank you. Yeah, well, that would depend on the amount of like companies that you wanna visit. I would say, in my experience, it's better to go like it's better to have more than you need than to just like fall short. So if you see like I don't know print 20 or something like that, and you're just like, uh, I might be going to more, or I might just it's better to go overboard with that rather than just like falling short, because you never know, and you might use them in the future, not only for career fair but for other stuff. Because, for example, in the SSE, some companies come here and they give like info sessions. So if you have like your resume already printed, it's like But I would say if you get like depending on like the amount of company that you want to visit, 10, 15, give or take. You might not use them all, but it's better to be prepared rather than yeah. I haven't heard about that, but they might, cause last semester, or I think last year, I don't remember quite. Uh, but they had like a printer in the atrium that people could use for printing resumes and stuff like that. They might have something this year, but they haven't said anything, or I haven't heard about it. Yeah, there's one in NRH, if I'm not wrong. And then there's always, but that's not free. Like the digital den, they print stuff. It's kind of like I don't know how many, like 25 cents per page. So it's like pretty cheap. If you print like 10 resumes, you can pretty much do it with dollar. Um, but yeah, I usually do it there because I don't want to go to like NRH, but that's just me. Hey. If nobody has any more questions, that's it. But you can still talk to me anytime. No, you can carry it with you. So try to have something that is not too like difficult to carry it, because you might you might have to just like carry it with you the whole time, because the lockers are not available for that during career fair at least. Mhm. And also another thing is that's what I was gonna say. Another thing is like a lot of companies give out bags, just full of stuff. Yeah, but they also give out bags. I remember my first career fair. I went home with like three different bags full of stuff. It was crazy. It was awesome. Well, my favorite stuff was from a company called Expensify. They gave me like a silver. Not it was not silver, but it was like aluminum glass with their name printed. It was kind of cool. I still have it. It's really a really good one. And they gave me like a really cool socks and the usual stuff, pens, notebooks, stuff like that. But that was like one of the best ones. Most of them are just like pens, um, pop socket for the cell phone, or these things. I don't know how they call. Um, Hand sanitizer now in COVID times. Uh, they used to give out masks, but like socks and Some of them also give out T-shirts, but they run out like really quickly. Yeah. Most professors would be okay. I mean, you should tell them, but most professors would be okay with you skipping class for career fair. Some of them might not. So you might exercise your best judgment there if you want to just skip class and go there. I'm not saying you should, but if you want to. Yeah. I never had a problem with like classes on career fair. I just could just not go. Most professors would do like a review session that day so that if you don't go, you don't miss anything. I think that's pretty much what happens. It's mostly like gen ed classes, the ones that are more difficult, and even so, I don't think I had a problem with those. Yeah. All right. Cool.